Did you know that over 90% of traders lose money and eventually quit? It's brutal, but it's true. Look, I'm not trying to scare you away from trading. In fact, I'm going to show you exactly why most traders fail so you can avoid their mistakes. Because once you understand why people fail, you can start doing the opposite and put the odds of success in your favor. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why most traders fail, and more importantly, how you can break the cycle and become part of the winning 10%. Look, let's cut to the chase. The number one reason traders fail isn't because they picked the wrong indicator or missed some magical secret. It's because of psychology, emotions, greed, fear, revenge trading. These emotions kill accounts faster than any bad setup ever could. Think about it. How many times have you entered a trade without really thinking it through, just because you got caught up in the hype? Or how many times have you held on to a losing trade for too long because you couldn't accept the loss? These are all psychological mistakes that can be avoided with the right mindset. And we're going to talk about exactly how to do that. But first, let's talk about the second biggest reason traders fail: no real plan. Most traders just jump into the markets without a system. They chase price, they hope, they pray, and then they wonder why their accounts disappear. Trading without a plan is like sailing without a map. You might get lucky a few times, but eventually you're going to crash and burn. You need a system, you need rules. You need to know exactly what you're looking for in a trade, how much you're willing to risk, and when you're going to take profits. Without a plan, you're just gambling, and the house always wins. Alright, let's dive into some of the most common mistakes I see traders making, and trust me, I've made my fair share of mistakes too, but that's how you learn, right? Mistake number 1, over-leveraging. This is when you risk way too much on a single trade. Remember what we talked about earlier, emotions? Well, greed is often the culprit here. People get greedy and think they can turn a small account into a fortune overnight, but it usually ends up with them blowing up their account. Mistake number 2, overtrading. This goes hand in hand with over-leveraging. It's the idea that more trades equal more money, which is completely false. In fact, the more you trade, the more you expose yourself to risk, and the higher the chances of making a mistake. Sometimes the best trade is no trade at all. Mistake number 3, no risk management. This one's a biggie. I'm talking about having no stop loss, no defined loss limit. Basically, no plan for what to do if a trade goes against you. It's like driving without a seatbelt. You're just asking for trouble. Always, always, always use a stop loss. And finally, mistake number 4, chasing losses. We've all been there. You have a losing trade and you try to win it all back by immediately jumping into another trade, usually with even more size. This is a recipe for disaster. Remember what we talked about earlier? Emotions? Well, revenge trading is a powerful emotion, and it will cloud your judgment every single time. So how do we avoid these mistakes? That's what we're going to talk about next. Chapter 3. The winning 10% mindset. So how do the 10% survive, and even thrive? What sets them apart from the 90% who fail? Well, it all starts with the right mindset. First and foremost, successful traders understand that trading is a business, not a lottery ticket. They treat it like a profession, not a hobby. They have clear written trading plans, entry rules, exit rules, risk per trade, max daily losses. Everything is calculated. They don't just wing it and hope for the best. They have a system, they stick to it, and they track their results meticulously. Second, they treat losses normally. A professional trader accepts losses like a business expense, not a personal attack. They understand that losses are part of the game, and they don't let their emotions get the best of them. They learn from their mistakes, adjust their strategy if necessary, and move on to the next trade. And finally, the winning 10% master one thing most traders ignore: emotional control. Discipline is greater than strategy. You can have the best trading strategy in the world, but if you don't have the discipline to follow it, you're going to lose money. It's all about controlling your emotions, sticking to your plan, and not letting greed or fear dictate your decisions. Chapter 4. Practical steps to join the 10%. Alright, now let's get practical. If you want to be among the few who make it in this game, here's what you need to do. Number 1, have a written trading plan. I know. You've heard it a million times before, but seriously, this is non-negotiable. Know your setup, your stop loss, your target before you even open a trade. Write it down and stick to it. Number 2, risk small. This is one of the most important rules in trading. Never risk more than 1 to 2% of your account on a single trade. Remember, survival is everything. If you blow up your account, you can't trade anymore. Number 3, track every trade. Keep a journal. Study your wins and your losses. What went right? What went wrong? What can you do better next time? The more you track your trades, the more you'll learn about yourself as a trader, and the better you'll become. Number 4, focus on discipline. Master yourself before trying to master the market. Remember, emotions are your enemy. Learn to control your greed, your fear, and your ego, and you'll be light years ahead of most traders. And finally, number 5, think long term. This isn't about getting rich overnight, it's about building skills that pay you forever. Trading is a marathon, not a sprint. Focus on the process, be patient, and the results will come. Outrow join the 10%? The market isn't your enemy. You are your own enemy until you master your habits. 90% of traders quit because they refuse to change, but if you take trading seriously, if you build habits of discipline, planning, and emotional control, you won't just survive, you'll thrive. If you're serious about becoming the 10%, smash that like button, subscribe for more no BS trading content, and I'll see you in the next video.